Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Yeah, I know. Money work. Se arregla con dinero.
SE project branding with that one here.
Money work. Si me quiero educar, dormir en algún lugar.
Really cool. We're also gonna change the kickstand now, guys. Alright, let's see the quick one and
hopefully I'm all good, guys. I rolled over something.
What's good, guys? Glad you tuned in for another one. Very excited. Oh man, I got a story for you guys this one. Smash that thumbs up if you're here. Would really appreciate it, guys. It actually really helps.
Hopefully I'm all good, guys. I rolled over something. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Yeah, I know. Money work. Se arregla con dinero.
SE project branding with that one here.
Money work. Si me quiero educar, dormir en algún lugar.
Really cool. We're also gonna change the kickstand now, guys. Alright, let's see the quick one and
Hopefully I'm all good, guys. I rolled over something.
We'll let that rock one more time, guys, and then we'll get this started, man. Very excited for tonight. I have a really special person here.
Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Yeah, I know. Money work.
5 Up is in the group chat, live chat. What up?
SE project branding with that one here.
Money work. Si me quiero educar, dormir en algún lugar.
Really cool. We're also gonna change the kickstand now, guys. Alright, let's see the quick one and
Hopefully I'm all good, guys. I rolled over something.
What's good? Mike is in the building, guys. Oh man. We'll just get that stopped real quick. What's good? What's good? Mike is in the building. Welcome to another Freestyle Sunday, guys. I had to stop that real quick. Again, one of those things that I'm kind of working through, but happy to see quite a few people in the building. First off, I'll say it was good to Governor D Nice. Always in the building, showing love and being part of the channel on both ends of the spectrum. We have 5 Up. He was in the building last episode. Really great conversation. If you missed that live stream, definitely check it out. Really informative. Another amazing experience seeing someone else's perspective in owning several motorcycles, and it's not like the norm. We also have Queens NYC in the building, and of course Wifey's in the building. So guys, I know I said it before and I'll say it again. No matter how much you try to prep and prepare yourself for all of this, it always seems like the time flies by. And to be honest, I almost did not even make it in this live stream today because one of these home things happened today. All right, let's just say our septic tank or whatever, not to get graphical, but it stopped functioning. But you know, your boy's always ready, always good to go. We took care of it. Everything is all good to go. Made the right calls, and we're all good to go, and I actually made it. So really excited to actually be here, guys. Tonight, oh, Wait. I almost skipped a very important step. Before we actually get into this, guys, I'm going to need you all to hit that thumbs up. Also, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, comment in the live chat or in the comment section, new subscriber. That way we can give you a warm welcome. Also, it helps out with the channel, helps grow, and help us attach with the algorithm. All right. I also released a new video earlier today. Just a quick highway rip on the Street Fighter V4S. For those of you that enjoy just a nice quick cruise, definitely check that video out. But I am not going to hold you guys up too long on this one because I want to kind of bring in a very, very good friend of mine. And I think you guys are going to find his conversation extremely interesting for several reasons. Because what Graffiti Pete does is not your norm, and he is a very unique individual for several reasons, guys. Not just because it's motorcycles, it's because of his passion for motorcycles, and he's also a very talented artist that's worked with several large businesses. Motivation's one of them. Ducati New York's one of them. He's done a lot of premium motorcycles for very, very high-end clients that's customizable. He's done helmets, all styles. Actually, right when we start, you will see his artwork in the background, which is some of the nice tweak that we've actually done, guys. So we're not going to hold this up any long. We are already 10 minutes into the actual conversation. Let's bring Graffiti Pete in the building, guys. All right, give him a warm welcome. Very, very excited to have him here, guys. All right, let's grab this going. We're gonna need two hands to get this going here, guys. There we go. There we go. Graffiti Pete, everybody.
Here we are. What's up?
Tell us a little bit about yourself, Graffiti.
Oh wow. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, I've always been into artwork, and writing graffiti was kind of my way to express it back in the day. And it just kind of, I just kind of elevated it to, you know, to do more things. If I saw somebody do something, you know, I was like, oh, I think I can learn how to do that, and I'd try it and figure it out. And I've always been into bikes. I've had a bike since I was a little kid, raced motocross as a teenager and stuff, and got into road bikes. And it's been a lot of fun, you know. So I kind of got an opportunity to kind of meld them together and design bikes, and you know, I learned how to wrap bikes, and I don't have the equipment or the space to paint yet, but I will eventually. But yeah, I just, you know, just kind of tried to get both together, and I work for myself. I've been for the past 20-something years and stuff. So it's, you know, it's all different types of stuff. I have a laser machine. I work with a ton. I work with a lot of other artists to do their artwork, and then I have a vinyl cutter. I make stickers and all kinds of promotional stuff and everything like that. So it's just been fun. You know, I try to have fun doing what I'm doing, and you know, they say if you work and, you know, for yourself and you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. It's kind of true. You'll wind up working every day of your life. You know, because you just got to keep it going. And honestly, like, I don't mind. You know, I'm in my studio right now, and I'm working on Tom's bike, and it just, you know, I sit there and stare at the pieces and go, oh, how do I want it to be, and then I figure it out.
So, Pete, quick question: were you one of those people that were like, I don't want to get a regular job, so I'm going to work for myself, and then now you work all the time?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I had regular jobs, and then, you know, like I was a government bond broker on Wall Street, like, you know, like after in my early 20s, and I stopped that. I moved to Florida, and then I was riding a ZX9R,
okay,
and an eggplant color, and I used to blast that thing all over the place, and then like all my cousins have bikes, and I was riding V-rods and, you know, and custom bikes. It's like the chopper deal, like in the late 90s. And I just always was into bikes, and then you know, so it just constantly kept going. You know, and then I got another one when I moved back, and I got the Hyper, and then I could never leave anything alone, so I started wrapping it and doing different things to it, and then it just kind of blew up after that.
Guys, quick question. If you're just hitting the stream, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Also, let your boy know if that audio's crispy, because you guys know what's up. So here's the thing, Pete. One of the main reason why I wanted to bring you on, and I thought it'd be extremely interesting. We had a couple of other people who are potential to bring on. Some are very into YouTube or very heavily invested into track, and I felt like it was a great idea to bring you on because it's a different perspective of having someone that's very passionate about motorcycles and also extremely creative in how they manage to merge their both passion. So we're talking about one passion you can actually feed your family with, and the other one is just pretty much for self-pleasure where you kind of go out and ride and enjoy your bike.
Oh, yeah.
How long it took you to kind of manage to have that transition where you kind of were able to merge your artwork and your writing and basically your style overall?
Well, a lot of it was, I would always do stuff and try to customize my own stuff, whether it be my motocross helmet or gear or my bikes and stuff. And then, and then I just would start to do what I wanted to do on my own stuff. And then I go out a bunch and I network with a lot of different people and I ride a whole ton. When I was in New York, I was riding all over the place, and you would just wind up meeting people and be like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, who did that? I'm like, oh, I did. And then, and then it's, oh, no kidding, can you do this and this? And then, just kind of, that is pretty much how it starts. And then, and then it's like, oh, maybe I could start doing more of that, but I never stopped doing all the stuff that I did before, like whether it be making stickers or painting stuff or everything, like I would go out and do, stuff for money and paint graffiti and, and design stuff and graphic design, and all that, like making logos and all that stuff. And then it just kind of like, if I started doing it to my own stuff, people would stop me on the street and be like, oh, not on the street, but like, hey, look, that was really cool. Take photos with the bike. I'm sure people take photos with your bikes. Yeah. And it's like, oh, who did this? I'll go, I did. Oh, no way. Well, and then it just winds up being a conversation, and just networking big time kind of made that happen. And, so I just, I give everything a shot, whether, if someone brings up an idea that I've never done before, I'll try to figure it out and see whether or not, it's good enough for me to, to sell,
All right. So Pete, yeah. give me 1 second. I just want to kind of show these guys some of the work that you've done. Just a general idea. Hold on, okay, guys. I just want to. You guys have to see this for yourself because. Just take a look. So right now it's just me you're seeing. All right, but I'm gonna switch to my bikes. Hopefully you guys could actually see that. Hold on. I'm gonna switch here to my bikes. Hold on 1 sec. There we are. Right. So. As you guys can see, all three of my bikes, guys, you're looking at the rear wheel, right? You can see clutch first and Wise on the Street Fighter. You're seeing Legend on the Hyper Motard. You're also seeing a Ducati official branded done on my Monster wheel. So all of this work is technically done by, actually, hold on 1 second. Give me a second, guys. I just want to kind of point this out. It's really clean. I'll be right back. Pete, don't go anywhere.
I will.
I just realized I'm like right in the front. So we're looking at here.
In the dish.
Here. Yeah, so guys, it would be a complete crime if I didn't show you that, by the way. I will be showing you guys a little bit more of what Pete does. And again, tons of talent, guys. I mean, we're talking about not your regular here. So we'll just bring him back on. There we go. Yeah, Pete, I had to highlight some of these decal guys. The turnaround time for something like this when I need done by Pete, it's fairly quickly. Just give us a heads up. How could anyone that's watching reach out to you or see some of your work? I will be pulling up your Instagram so that way we can kind of show a few things. Guys, also, if you're watching, you see the border actually around the stream. That's actually some key tags that was designed by Pete as well and printed on their leather key tags. So I actually have my own. I'll show you that shortly. But yeah, let us know.
Yeah, one of those things like with doing stuff for other people, it wound up being where, I wound up getting these machines or hearing about like a laser machine or a vinyl cutter, and I got the machines, I learned the machines, and then Instagram has been the best publicity for me other than on the street. I could just post different things, and and I would just reach out to different companies like I did to Motivation, and I would make them a little sample kit and send it out to them, and and just how I decided to run the business end of it was, like I have to show people what's possible, so I would take different, find different companies and get their logo, make them a bunch of stuff, contact them, and then, I'll mail them, like a sample kit for nothing, and say, just check out the stuff. It's hard to describe. Yeah, I got this laser machine. I can make all this and this, it's difficult. So I give away a bunch of stuff, and, it comes back, times whatever, in business. Like I've gotten, if I send out 10 sample kits, 8 times out of 10, I'll get an order out of those sample kits. So, being able to use different materials like the leather on the background, like nice thick leather, and everything can be customized. And, like I use whatever, like you can give me a logo. I usually don't like make a bunch of products and sell my own artwork. I usually don't do that. A lot of it is promotional stuff. I live in Nashville now, so like a bunch of the bars downtown, like I do a bunch of their like their promotional stuff and merchandise, and different other artists I work with a ton, restaurants and merchandise for bands, like all different types of stuff. But the machine is fanatics, so I could do all kinds of stuff with it. So I do it, and I just try to show it, and then if someone digs it, then we make it, we make something happen.
So I'm guessing you shoot your shot quite a bit on all levels just to see you can kind of get yourself out there. Like I always tell people, like being in the art field, it's one thing. It's really glamorous on the outside, and people always think that you're free, you have all the time. You're basically working at all times. You're always networking or trying to get your work out or show people.
Oh yeah, yeah. You could ask my wife. I will be, I'll like, all right, I'm gonna shut it down and go downstairs and make dinner and this and that, and then I'll get a message on Instagram at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. Hey, what is this and this? And I'm like, oh, this looks pretty cool. I'm gonna go up and make a sample right now, and I'll leave and go upstairs and do what I gotta do, and then it turns into something. So like I don't mind showing people what's possible, and within reason, obviously. But there's just so much that's possible. It's hard to to post everything. There's a lot of my clients that don't want me to post stuff that I do for them, for privacy reasons, which I totally understand, which is why I don't. But like I'm always open to suggestion. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, can you do this? Oh, maybe I don't, but I'll figure it out. I'll make it happen. And I just had to do that. Like if I turned things down, I just didn't want to do. I wouldn't be able to make a living at it. But I wound up, like I have the capability of doing it. I know where to get materials, and I have, an idea type of brain where I can go, oh, this would be kind of cool. Like I was etching this like empty spray cans. Like I think I sent you a few, and so it's like, what can I do with these empty spray cans? I paint them, and I don't put a full design, or I put a picture of somebody and I put it in the machine and it etches it, and then there's another product. So all different types of stuff. It's a lot of fun, but I every Friday I don't get a paycheck. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those where I can go 2 weeks or whatever it is without getting money in, and then I could have landfall, where it's like, holy shit, I made a ton of money. It's like 3 days. You know what I mean? And that's great. But like it's not steady. You know what I mean? Like for the most part, but it comes in spurts. You just got to make those spurts, a little bit more closer together. Where you could be able to afford, being able to do it on your own,
Well, that's the beauty of whenever you're in the art field and then you're an artist and you do a lot of passion work, what soon comes after that is being very business savvy. Because if you don't really know how to manage your time and clients and stuff like that, you're going to start having a lot of issues when you have dead spots. But guys, take a look real quick. I know you guys probably seen this in my video a lot. Hopefully we can make this out. Let's see here. There we go. You see that? That's my keychain. And of course, those are going to be available to people eventually. But This is a genuine leather one, guys, that's done by him. I have him on all my bikes. I also have stickers and other decals. Pretty much all of my setup is done by Graffiti Pete, guys, and turnaround sounds always great. I'm just gonna pull you off real quick, Pete, as we talk. I want to kind of go through your IG and kind of show what it looks like. But yeah, I'm listening to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff on there, but you know, like I have a bunch of my own bike. You know, like I get to ride. I mean, that's the one thing that, you know, advantage of working for yourself is, you know, like the window that's right in front of me looks out onto my motorcycle and my car and everything. So if it's a beautiful day, you know, I'm working, I'll look outside and go, you know what, I'm going for a ride. And I'll shut it down. I'll go out for a ride for an hour and a half. And I live 15 minutes from Natchez Trace Parkway in Nashville, and that's, you know, like that's like the baby brother to the, you know, the Tail of the Dragon. So I'm fortunate to be really close to it, and I'll go rip on that ride for an hour and a half or whatever it is, and then, you know, come back and go back to work, and, you know, the boss doesn't say nothing. And
I guess who's the boss is you.
That's right.
So,
you know,
how long have you been riding, Pete?
Shoot, I actually, the first motorcycle I rode, my dirt bike was a DR 100 that I traded a kid in high school. I think it was a freshman year. I had a bike when I was real little, but I didn't know what I was doing with that. I traded him in a gas RC car for the weekend, and I took his DR 100 and I went through gas tanks on that, you know, around my neighborhood. I grew up on Staten Island, right in South Beach, and there's what we used to call the Sand Flats, and it was right behind, like right by Father Capodanno, like right behind baseball fields, right by the hospital, and it was just trails, like, and you could just rip on that. And we used to ride that all the time, you know. And then I was like, I'm glued to motorcycles. I love them. And then, you know, after a little while, I got a KX 250 at Woodbridge Kawasaki, and then I was like, oh shoot, I could race these things. And then I went down to Woodbridge, Old Township Raceway Park, and started racing dirt bikes. And then I was bit by the motorcycle bug when I was little. I sat on my cousin's motorcycle and burnt my leg on his Harley. And he to this day, he's like, that's what got you into motorcycles. You got burnt by one, and you just wanted to ride the hell out of it, you know. And it's true, you know. Like I love to ride anything, you know. Like, it doesn't matter, you know. And I love it, you know. It's a way to just, I call it speed therapy. I get on the road and just go. Like, it was different riding when I was living on the island or in Manhattan or Brooklyn. But once I moved to Nashville, and I lived in Florida for a while, Florida's just straight and flat, and that, you know, it's good. But Nashville's roads are unbelievable. I mean, I have so much fun on, you know, on the roads out here, and the Hyper is amazing for that. So it's a blast. I love riding.
Yo, you know what's so funny? I was just gonna go towards that, guys. Pete rides a Hyper motard, and he's had his way before me. His is completely decked out. What's very special about his bike, I think that's really cool and actually pretty distinct, it's basically retailored to its own taste and liking. The colorway was done by himself. Actually, it was wrapped, right? Did you say?
I do it like 2 or 3 times a year.
Okay.
Like, I rewrap the whole thing. Like, and now, like, I'm doing Tom's bike again, and I'm like, I texted him, I'm like, I'm gonna make my bike like the baby brother of your bike. You know, like, I'm gonna rewrap mine again in the same kind of colorway, and you know, and you know, and rep that, because like, you know, like, it's what it is. Like, I really dig what I do, you know, and I'm, you know, fortunate, you know, to be able to do it on my own. I don't gotta pay anybody to do it. I just got from Motivation Louis Moto seat cover for the Hyper, so I just put that on. I just like wrapped the seat pan, and that's got to go on. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be 65 on Christmas here, so I'm going for a ride.
Oh my god! I'm so jealous right now. Oh my god!
It's gonna be amazing, man.
Today is so cold in New York, man. It's just like not.
Oh, I bet.
You saying that right now just hurt my soul a little bit.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Guys, I'm gonna show you his IG. We're definitely gonna go through it. But Pete's freaking Hyper is freaking absolutely amazing. He was out here in New York. I went to go get equipment in B&H, and he pulled up with it. The freaking thing is stunning. And the dope part is there's nothing else like it. It just looked like its own. What is your take on painting or wrapping your bike?
I mean, either way, I think with a wrap, I think you can get, the only thing you can't get, not the only thing, But one of the things that I think painting has above wrapping is you're able to do blends and fades and things like that with paint. With a wrap, it's more like color on color, like just straight colors on color. You can layer it, but there's no way you're going to get a fade with a wrap, because you're doing solid film on top.
I have to ask you this though. On a wrap, when you're wrapping a bike or helmet, by the way, guys, he does wrap helmets also. I can't wait to guys show you the freaking Instagram page, because I'm telling you, man.
I can go grab it right now.
Yeah, go, please. I'll wait. This is great, man. I love this because you know what, guys, this motorcycle community, this thing that we do that we're super passionate about. What's going on, guys?
I had this this Arai Corsair X.
Okay.
It was all white, and then I wound up getting the Arai Dirty Performance red, green, and white helmet that I wear constantly. So I had this white helmet, and then I decided, to wrap it. So I made it. I just wrapped, every piece of it. And I did these little imprints. In the
yeah, I can see that. It's guys, if you can see that, that's like bevel. The helmet is bevel. So basically, it says GP on it. It's bevel below the wrap.
Pieces are done. But yeah, so like all those little kind of pieces. I was like, oh, let me see if I can do it, and I did it. But yeah, like so I could do what I can. Like I would love to be able to do some fades, and I'm sure if I was able to print on wrap film myself.
That was gonna be my next question. My next question.
Yeah, there are machines that could do that, but they're very expensive, and I don't do enough of it in order to justify the purchase.
Okay.
I'm actually getting another laser machine, which probably equals a little bit more than a Street Fighter. So I'm choosing to not get a new bike and to get a better machine because the machine makes me money. The bike cost me money, but yeah, so I all this different stuff. I just I have a bunch of helmets, that I just try it on my own stuff, and then when I feel comfortable with it, I'll show it to the people, and and then I know people send me helmets, so it winds up working out.
Yeah. Guys, quickly, I just gotta highlight some people, man. Downshift 83 is in the building. NYC Street Triples in the building, guys. Again, guys, it's that half an hour mark. If you hear, you're watching, you're tuning in, it doesn't cost anything. It's not a bother to anyone. Just take a moment, hit that thumbs up button. It's gonna help with the algorithm. Again, I'm getting the ball rolling again, all over again, trying to get this whole YouTube thing back into the game. So definitely gonna need you to hit that thumbs up. I'm gonna jump on Graffiti Pete's Instagram page, just kind of show you. I don't know if you saw the thumbnail for the live stream itself. He has an Agv helmet that he's done. He's done quite a few, and I guess it's pretty apparent that he's a Ducati guy because he's wearing that.
That's for sure. Yeah.
Do you see yourself rocking any other brand?
Oh yeah, I don't see why not. I'm brand loyal, but I would love to get a like a real Street Fighter, out of like a CRF 450 or a YZF 450 or something, like a Street Fighter where I would use that as somewhat of a track bike on like a go-kart track. Like that's a blast to me, or like a Grom type machine. Like those are fun. You know what I mean? Like I don't just want to have fun with it, with something like that. But to go, like I would love a Diavol. I think if I thought about something, that's what I would get. Like a muscle cruiser, but as far as another brand, yeah, I mean, I'd have to ride it and check it out. But like I've had other bikes, but once it was one of once I got a Ducati, I rode that Kawasaki for a while, that ZX9, and then I had an R1 for a little bit, the anniversary one I had. But yeah, I mean, I'm brand I found the brand that I dig. If someone comes out with something that's fresh, I'll look into it, but I think I'm gonna stick on a Ducati for a little while.
Okay. I think so the thing for me, and there's quite a few other bikes that I'm really digging and considering. I'd say mainly BMW. I'm really digging the S1000R, and I'm kind of like on the fence about getting that bike. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully we can make that happen. But I can relate to you when you say that Diavolo, though, because I don't know, man. I really love the look of that bike, the way it rides. I feel like it has the heart of a super bike, even though it's a
I
cruiser
heard the term muscle cruiser.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, yeah, all right. I like the muscle cruiser bit, you know what I mean? Because I can get back and just, like it'll do what I want. It may not be as nimble. I mean, it's not as nimble as the Hyper, but it's got a lot of grunt, and that's important. Like I think that's really cool.
Okay. Here's one thing. Let me just go through your Instagram here real quick. All right. While we do that, I'm just gonna have you walk me through some of the pieces that that you've worked on. Give me a second here. Let's see, guys. All right, guys. We're just gonna jump into Graffiti Pete's Instagram real quick because I want to show you guys this guy's talent, man. How amazing his work is, and it's mind-boggling to me that that some of the stuff that he puts together for clients or for even for myself that he's able to do. So let's take a quick look. Let's see here. Not only I'm just doing all of this stuff on the back end, guys, I'm also navigating every single one of those things, but your boy is getting nice with it. I'm loving the stream. I'm digging it so much. Welcome to Graffiti Pete's Instagram page, guys. Let's take a quick look. You could just walk us through some of this stuff. Yeah. Hopefully you can make some of this stuff out as I'm looking at it, guys. Yeah,
that's Tom's new fairings on his 2022 track bike, his Panigale B4, and so we're doing a charcoal base.
Okay.
And I don't want to give out too many secrets on this thing because he doesn't even know. So yeah, that's it.
Oh, so you like super low key. Look at it completed, guys.
Yeah, that shit's tight.
Look how clean that is, man.
Yeah. It's great. So that's a building. That's a job I did. I do a lot of like large scale artwork for companies. That's a company called H5 up in Manhattan, and they're a big data center.
Okay.
So I made their floors and where they take customers around to they wanted it to look like the New York subway map. And that was like a week and a half. It's about 150 yards I had to do. That's 5 different colors. There's a lot of time on my hands and knees doing that. But yeah, so it was great. They loved it, and I did too. So like big time artwork for hotels and businesses and restaurants. I also do that type of stuff too.
Yeah, guys, I know this stuff is
Oh yeah. So a lot of times, like when the machine's running, like I fidget around with a baseball. Like I love the Yankees and stuff. So I was playing with this baseball, and I was like, I could probably make one of these. And that's where the trouble starts, because I'm like, I think I can make one. And then I had leather around. I always work with leather, and then I etched my own baseball, and then I stitched it up. I bought a bunch of baseballs, cut the cover off, bought the cord, and then I stitched it. So Jesus. I started making baseballs. I do custom baseballs, and they've been selling like crazy. There's the Gucci ball. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of those type of things, and custom stuff. Oh, can you put my face on a baseball?
Project, is that project? Sorry, I don't mean to stop you. Is this project for yourself or for clients?
Everything starts out that way. Yeah.
Okay.
Everything starts out like, let me see if I could do it, and then if it looks good, I'll post it, and then let's see what. And then I just kind of like see what happens. If it gets some good traction and people are into it and people are DMing me for like, hey, what's that cost? Can I make one? And I can. If I usually don't post anything I can't reproduce.
I want to pull this up here. I just want to show you. I want to show them a couple of things that you've done here. So this is the same background we actually have on the chat, guys. That's a key tag that he's done in genuine leather. Really, really cool. Very impressive level of work. The reason I'm kind of highlighting a lot of this stuff, guys, I just want to kind of show you not only our community. When we talk about motorcycles, we have a lot of different walks of life that participate in riding motorcycles and shares the passion. So it's kind of really interesting to see what people are doing in their off time and how they're merging like passion. So take a look at his Hyper real quick. I just want to show you that.
Oh yeah, that's it's actually different. I don't even know. That was last summer, I think. Right now I took off that pipe and put an SC Project pipe on it, and I changed the colorway from that maroon to a like a frosty red
Mm-hmm.
with gunmetal instead of the flat black. So it's different than it looks like right now, right there. And that was
That's
like I don't know, 6 months ago.
absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I just want to show this one piece that I saw, guys. I thought really was pretty cool. He's worked with a company. Oh, actually, let's look at this real quick. This is a Panigale
That's Tom's bike,
custom.
Yeah, Tom sent me his plastics, and that was a full wrap on his plastics, and that bike came out fantastic. So he loved it so much, and I appreciate it so much, and he sent me his new plastic. So I'm working on those right now.
So check it out, guys. So that project we just looked at, most client, they tend to either send it to him, they get the bike stripped down, take all the fairings off, and then ship that stuff out. In most cases, they're pretty much like overnight. So for example, on my Street Fighter, on the Rizoma windscreen, okay, on the side little areas, they were natural finish, which I didn't feel like flowed the Street Fighter color too well. I partnered with Pete and overnighted the actual Rizoma windscreen, and he went even a step further by making my logo below the matte black, which is the same thing that's on the side fairing as well, guys.
I embossed it on there.
Yeah, he embossed it. So really cool stuff. We're seeing quite a few more. I want to show you guys. This is something that's really interesting, and I'm actually even considering doing something like that for.
Yeah, there's that helmet that I just showed you, and there's the other.
You're jumping.
I'm sorry. My bad.
He's jumping, guys. I want to show you this real quick, though.
Honestly, I get psyched when I look at my, like I love what I do.
This is one of the pieces that I saw. I've been considering doing some hats for myself, or maybe even highlight in the channel down in the future. I have no idea what's the overhead for it, but I know it's going to be something pretty cool. I'm assuming these are leather.
Yeah, those are sheepskin leather. And I partnered with, she's incredible artist, Mookie Burns, also on Instagram. And I make all of her patches. She does a lot of wood burning, and she sends me her artwork, and then I put them on patches. And I mail her just the patches. She puts them on hats. And if you go to her webpage, you could choose a different hat. Like I want a blue hat with that patch, and you can do custom anything. So I love working with other artists, because a lot of times other artists are too busy working on their own work to worry about the selling stuff. And I'm like, hey, you could do this, we could do this, we could do that. And then and she's doing fantastic, and her artwork is amazing. So it's really cool to make her artwork into these patches that she's able to sell, and she does excellent with those.
So you actually provide just the stencil in leather, and then she does the impact into the hat.
No. She usually etches them or burns them into a big wood panel.
Okay.
And then she gives me the artwork, all broken down, and then I translate her artwork into a file that's able to be etched on the laser, and then I make each of those. We probably have 60 different designs of stuff that she does.
Super excited. Let me see this one more thing. I actually want to show two more things, and then we'll jump back to the chat, guys. Take a quick look. These are ornaments. Really cool. Very 80s hip hop-ish, right? Go ahead, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, they're just like I'm a sneaker guy, and it was one of those stupid things where I'm like, oh shit, it'd be kind of cool if I could, like if there was a tree with all kinds of sneakers on them, and then maybe I'll make some sneakers, and I made some sneakers, it's like I'm fortunate, and I love being able to have the machines to be able to produce the artwork that or whatever's in my head, like where a lot of people are like, oh, do you have a 3D printer? Like a 3D printer builds up material. I have a laser which breaks down material, so I put the material in the machine. I deal with the artwork on the computer, and I make the artwork able to be lasered, and the machine etches it and then cuts it out. So I could make anything an ornament, or like anything, keychains. I mean, it's really wide open. So right there, that was go back up a little bit. like on the right side next to the RZA thing. That was a dirt bike underneath the helmet.
Right here.
Down into to the right of the RZA thing.
There you go. Right, I see it.
Yeah. So that was a dirt. It's a CRF 450 that my buddy gave me, and he's like, "Hey, can we wrap this?" I'm like, "Yeah." So those are his fairings on, and he owns a ranch, so I put his logo of the ranch on there. So those are dirt bike fairings that we did for his bike, and he rocks the hell out of them. He loves them, So like anything's possible, you know what I mean? What I would probably clear over those. I think he cleared over those after I did it, so they were able to sustain being power washed and everything. But I'll wrap anything. Like it's wide open. A lot of people, I mean, maybe not think about wrapping or think painting is too expensive, which it sometimes could be. But wrapping is a lot less expensive than painting. But you could and you could peel it off, and then you start. You have what you started with.
So walk us through something like this. This is what I had to throw.
Yeah, if you keep going,
there's
those panels.
Oh, the other panels.
Right on.
Yeah, just walk us through something like this. This is an Agv helmet. What would be your turnaround time? Do you have to take apart the visor, the inside, or the wing at the back? Walk us through the process of getting something like this done, and what's your turnaround time? Because that's pretty cool that you managed to do all of this by hand.
Oh, yeah. Well, turnaround time honestly depends on whatever the client wants on the helmet. There's those embossed logos. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't have to take I don't have to take the insides out. I kept the rear little wing on. I think I took the visor off only. And I mean, usually I honestly stare at it. I stare at the helmet. And then I'm like, well, what do you think will look cool? And I make little kind of 1/8-inch strips, on my vinyl cutter, and I just kind of map it out. I just kind of like put strips of vinyl on it just to see how things would flow.
Pete, hold on one second, brother. I have to stop you for a quick second. Downshift 83 is a pretty he's pretty known in customizing his bike. He said he's gonna hit you up. You might want to follow up with him on Instagram.
Instagram is the best way to get in touch with me.
Yeah, just let people know how you could follow up with you, because I know he's done some rap work and stuff like that on his Panigale before, but he's done some stuff on his Indian. So we're talking about a lot of potential here. I think you guys would be like a really dope match together and stuff like that. And he's a great guy.
I'm down with anything. Like I'm so down. I love collaborating with other people and artists, and because I know I don't know everything, so other people's ideas, sometimes I'm like, oh shit, that's a fucking good idea, and then it's like, oh, well, let's see how we can make it happen. So, I mean, there's a lot of just kind of figuring out and make it happen. But like, once I figured out how to do it, I'm like, I figured I just do it, But yeah, so I figured out like what would be cool. Like he didn't want a whole bunch with it. So he wanted the blue, and it matches the bike with the flat and the shiny. And so I think it's simple and it has some style to it, and I mean, like things can go from super, like on a scale of 1 to 10, as far as complication. I think that's maybe like a 3 as far as how difficult it was.
Okay.
But I can go up to and like put things underneath things and have all that embossed stuff, and I said, but wrap kind of stalls you in fading colors. That's the only thing I can't really do with a wrap is fade, which for a helmet kind of is important.
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. I mean, this is kind of a taste thing, you know what I mean? I think this kind of work is really fascinating, and I'm sure it takes a lot of man hours to get something produced.
Oh, for sure. I mean, like I usually wind up using, instead of like a fade situation, I sometimes use a lot of like shiny versus flat, and like other different things that would go together better. That's all. Like there's an attachment to do like cans or circular items on the laser machine. So I did the Core 4 plus Bernie. That was my bike. I did after I got it fixed, and I was like, I want to do some Nardo gray. I did the Nardo gray with the maroon, and then I ran that for a little while.
You know what's great about this stuff, Pete, that I think that's gonna be really, really cool. I love the fact that it gives you the option to refresh your bike a little bit. You know, that way you don't have to really worry too much about like, hey, I got to get a new bike or change thing up completely. It gives you an opportunity to get the bike, you know, up and running, and for it to look just as good, and in the same time not spending as much money, right? Would you say?
Right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, and it's also not permanent. You know what I mean? Like if you wrap something, you can take it off, you know, as soon as you get it, you know what I mean? And kind of do whatever you want with it. But, you know, I think like with a wrap, it's, I mean, that rides, you know, you always want to have that feeling like when you're walking up to it. I'm like, yeah, that's mine. I'm going to ride that, you know? So when you walk up to the bike, you know, you want to be proud of it, you know? So putting a wrap on it is a good way to like switch it up. You don't want to spend another 20 grand on a new bike. All right, well, let's just change this one, you know, and then, you know, and you can figure it out and, you know, and make it different. So you're, you know, it feels like you got a new bike, but it's still the bike that you had.
Yeah, I mean, it's one way to look at it. I think, you know, not a lot of people would do that. I mean, some people would go out and, you know, get themselves a whole completely new bike, or at least getting it painted. But I wouldn't recommend, you know, going that route, only because it could be super expensive to actually get that done.
Yeah. I think wrapping it is kind of dipping your toe into the paint bucket, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like you know, it's like, well, I don't want to paint it, you know, because that may cost X dollars. Like a wrap it, you get the same type of effect pretty much, and then you're you know, and then it's different.
And it also protects your paint, by the way, right? Would you agree?
For sure, yeah.
Your
I mean,
OEM paint.
Yeah, like you could peel off a wrap, and there's not going to be any residue. You don't have to sand it. You don't got to put anything on it. You know, if you heat it up a little bit and pull it, you can just peel it off. You know, and you can kind of do whatever. And you know, and just the industry of wrapping is come so far where, you know, I could. You know, I met a guy a few weeks ago, and he on his MT90, I think it was. He's like, "Oh, I got these pieces. I want to wrap it in camo. Can we wrap it in camo?" Like, yeah, I can wrap it in camo. You know, and he just took those pieces off. I picked them up at his job, came home, wrapped them, brought them back before his shift was up, and his bike is different. You know, so
nice.
It was something that, you know, that worked out. You know, and he loved it. You know, and you know, but painting it or doing like a hydro dipping or something. A little bit more, it's definitely more permanent, and it probably costs a little bit more, you know, but with a wrapping, it's like you can peel it off if you don't like it, you know, or you get tired of it, you know, and I think it's a good way to kind of like tip the toe into doing a color change or something.
I agree.
Depending on what it is, though, you may have to tell your registration that your bike's not black, it's yellow now. But that's, you know, that's something that came up once with like your registration says that, you know, it's red. And the bike's black, well, the frame's red, you know, and that's all that, you know, wound up working out. But with cars, I know with cars, if you do a total color change, you got to tell the registration that you're changing the color.
Yeah. Pete, so you part of the Gotham Ducati Club, right?
I am, yes, okay. Very proudly, yes.
Now, I'm assuming you used to ride with them a lot when you were out here in New York.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, when I came up to do that H5 project, it was just right around the corner from the dealership, and they had the 2 Wheel Tuesday ride with Josh Herron, and I think I missed you. You went straight to the spot. But yeah, I mean, I you know, with Ty and Tom and all those guys, like, you know, when I was living back in New York, I'm only in Nashville about 2 years, and you know, I organized a little ride. We went out to the dirt bike track. I raced that when I was a kid, and we ride, you know, at wherever. And it's nice to get together with other people and, you know, and cruise around. It's great.
Yeah, man. I you know, it's so funny. I think you hit me up on Instagram. You're like, "Oh, you're out here," and I'm like, "Nah." I actually ran late. That's why I'm like, let me go straight to the Classic Car Club, and hopefully I'll see everyone there. So I'm assuming from there you dipped out, right?
Well, no, I had to go back to the building and go back to work. Like,
okay.
You know, like I was there to do that subway map job. And I did 2 other floors, and yeah, so I left the building, went back and hung, and plus I didn't have a bike to ride, but I left the building, went to the dealership, hung out, and saw everybody, and picked up some new gear, and then and went back to work when everybody split.
You didn't miss anything, man. It was a cold ride back home, man. I was freezing my ass off going home, but it was completely worth it, man. Like Josh Herron was way more than I expected. Really, really cool guy. But you know what? It looks like, surprisingly, Loris Bass is not riding for Warhorse, right? This season?
No, he left at the end of the year last year, and he's back in World Superbike, which is fantastic for him.
Yeah.
And I heard a little a rumor that maybe Danilo Petrucci was going to ride for the Warhorse team this year, but that hasn't been officially announced. And I'm just talking shit. I just read something that may have been the case, but I don't know if that hasn't been announced, so I don't know.
That's a huge deal too, by the way, for Loris Bass going to World Superbike.
Oh yeah, I mean, honestly, he came over here and first time on brand new tracks on a new bike. He wasn't riding a Ducati, the past few years in GP. So for him to come over and be on a new bike that was kind of Superbike spec, not really, it wasn't GP spec, and to come in fourth in the championship, I think that was awesome for him. Last year, and also for the team. I think it was their first full year with Ducati New York and Warhorse and everything. I could be wrong with my facts, but I thought it was great for him to come over, and he did a lot of things in that bike that were fantastic, But he got an offer in World Superbike, and honestly, I think he belongs there. So
I 100% agree. I think naturally he belongs there because he's been doing really, really well in Moto America, proving himself. I seen, and this is wild because even though he's racing against like people like Josh Herron, Kyle Weidman, and a bunch of other guys, he's actually not from the U.S. He's traveling back and forth from Europe, and he doesn't get an opportunity. He doesn't have an opportunity to actually know the track like the back of his hand, and he's still performing extremely, extremely well. Only downside, I think he's on a BMW. Well, not a downside, but I guess I'm being a little biased. He's on a Beamer now. He's on a S1000RR.
Right. Yeah. I think this year in the World Superbike or 22, he'll be on a BMW. But I think it's one of those things that maybe he didn't have an opportunity. I don't know the whole story in Superbike last year. Boris offered him a situation. He was like, "Yeah, I'll do that." But his performance here, I thought, kind of led everyone at BMW to go, "Hey, wait, maybe we need him back here," which is fantastic for him.
I actually think BMW needed some fresh blood as much as possible. Right now, there's a dominating factor with Ducati. Not only they're fast, the bikes looks good, they're selling really well. For the past 6 years, BMW had everyone cornered, with speed, performance, reliability. Right now, it's not that they're not doing that anymore. I just feel like Ducati has ran away with that mantle really, really badly. Even Yamaha is having a difficult time doing something new. I don't remember which racer said it. Some racer mentioned that if Yamaha doesn't change things anytime soon or drastically, they're going to be completely left behind. I don't know if you're like too versed into what's going on with that, or at least seen or heard any other news from that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know too much news or anything, but I think that I think with the way Ducati has been racing in World Superbike, I don't think that it was. I don't think that they had too much. Well, I don't know. I mean, it didn't translate, but in with the other like with Honda and Yamaha, they've been doing really well with a lot of the other series, but they haven't really. I guess Suzuki was doing great in Moto America, but they weren't really doing too much in Superbike. So. I follow a lot of the series, and I just think that I don't know. I think that the support of the factory over here in America, I think, was lacking with Ducati. So maybe electronics played a big part in them not doing really well in America, but they were doing great in Superbike, in World Superbike.
Yeah.
So I think that if an American team can get support from the factory. In America, I think they'll do a lot. But I think, electronics in today's bikes are paramount.
Yeah.
You know, and I think if you can get an unlocked CPU, I think a lot of these technicians can do a lot of really cool shit. You know.
I'm gonna change gear. I want to ask you this question because I have to bring this up. What's your thought on that new? I keep on talking about Ducati, guys. This is not a Ducati-centric thing only. It just so happened a lot of the people that I know or we kind of interact with have Ducatis.
Right,
but
yeah.
I have to ask you.
And we both have them.
Yeah, we both have them. So,
right.
what's your take on the new Desert X Street Fighter Ducati?
See, I came from like a motocross background, you know, so like the you mean the Desert Sled? Is that what we're talking
Desert
about?
Sled. Yeah, I think it's Desert.
Yeah.
I thought it was Desert X, but I could be wrong.
That may be the pet name for it, but the Desert Sled was what was rocking not so long. But I mean, like I said, I came from a motocross background, and I think Ducati has made a crazy scrambler. I think those bikes are great. There's so many different options. Like if someone's looking, I have a friend of mine who tattoos me. He's a great friend of mine, and you know he rides a built Harley. It weighs 700 pounds or whatever it is. I'm like, he's a small guy. I'm like, just get a scrambler. They're great bikes for entry level, but you can get an 1100. You know what I mean? So like if you know what you're doing, you could really kind of the scrambler is a fantastic bike. But they're doing a lot with those now that they weren't. That makes them different than a lot of other brands.
I'm gonna have to show you this. Watch this. I think you're referring to the Scrambler. I don't know if you've seen the new Desert X yet.
I may not. I may not have.
Okay, hold on. Wait, I'm gonna pull this up so you can actually.
Is it the Hyperstrada? Is it the new Hyperstrada?
No. I don't think you've seen this. Hold on 1 second. So 1 sec. Let's see here. Very excited for this bike, man. I mean, I was a little bit on the fence regarding it, so let's see here. I'm just gonna pull this up real quick, guys. I want to show this bike to Pete and get his opinion on this. And I think it's interesting that Ducati is going back to this style, and people seem to be pretty excited about it. I feel like, let's see here, guys.
Oh, right.
The Desert X.
That's like a Dakar version.
Yes, sir.
No kidding.
Is this the first time seeing it?
Yeah, it is actually. I think I've seen like a photo, but I didn't like look into it. But wow, that's a badass. That's what's gonna get Petrucci over here. Is he wants to do the Dakar.
Oh my God. So this thing has nice clearance. Yeah, the looks of style design. Hold on, wait, guys. It's that time. It's the time again. I'm gonna need you to hit that thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, if you're the first time you're watching this, make sure you subscribe. Comment down below, new subscriber, and also again hit that thumbs up. But yeah, that new Ducati Desert X. I think they're going back, bringing this out, man. I mean, it's a very unique bike, man.
Right. I know. I think that's. I mean, it's aimed for the BMW, like around the world, but the GSs. I think it may be like the competition to that, which I think it'll give it a run for its money, not for nothing. But yeah, I mean that's a fantastic looking bike, and to do with it. I mean, honestly, like where you are, you may not have much of use for it, but it could do right there on dunes. But yeah, I think if you're gonna go around, like up the coast or whatever, I think you strap some bags on that and take it on the road.
Well, this bike is a very Dakar-based bike. It actually has two fuel tanks. There's one in the front. There's also one in the rear for extended range. So it's really interesting. I think the look is something that it reminds me of very much Africa Twin. I'm thinking.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, my buddy's got one of those.
Yeah. Very Africa Twinish.
Right. I mean, it looks like it has a ton of suspension too, which is nice. For like on road off road. And that's what honestly riding like that is like a lot around here. Like there are roads you can be on the roads, and then you can turn off onto this this park, and you're on all these trails and stuff. We don't have dunes here, but yeah, that's a good looking piece right there.
Yeah.
And immediately I'm looking at like, I could probably take the front end off and wrap it. I have to wrap the gas tank bit. You know? I look at it like, how many pieces you got to take off that to send to me?
Well, it's a very interesting bike because here's the thing. It's running the Hyper engine, actually.
No kidding.
Yeah, same engine that's on the 950, 939 SP. Wow. That's the same exact engine. I'm curious about the weight. Double-sided swing arm, so you're going to have a lot better, you know, traction. You know what I mean? So you're going to have a lot more torque.
Yeah, it'll be balanced a lot better, I think.
And I'm surprised, actually, they got a nice actual belly pan on there that could actually take impact. So all that stuff is super interesting. Now, is it Ducati? That's the question I have for you.
I don't know. I think it's the direction Ducati's going, but I mean, when you think Ducati, you think speed, you think road racing. I mean, I don't think it's in the blood, obviously, a Ducati, but it's not what I think they're known for. If someone was looking for a bike like that, I don't think that Ducati would be third on the list, of what to get.
You see what I mean with that tank?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
That's the second tank, man. That's pretty wild. Now, the thing is, I think that's interesting, too, that you said that if somebody's looking for a bike like this, would they be looking at Ducati? I think that's the exact idea behind this bike. They're not necessarily looking to take over the GS or the Tiger. Right. They're looking to get their feet wet in that market, potentially when somebody's interested. Because think about it. If you're already part of the brand, of the company, or you already have multiple Ducatis, you're already in it, you like it, most people tend to go GS or Tiger if they're looking for that setup. Because ideally, I thought the Hyper would be a bike like this, but when you really look at the Hyper...
the Hyper in it. A lot of times the Hyper Moto motor is kind of bulletproof, in a lot of respects. I've heard that from a lot of technicians, and they're like, the Hyper motor is like, it's solid, so I think if if you want a motor that's going to be dependable, I think and you want to go across the country, that may be the move. I think they have a little bit of a gain to get on KTM and BMW, or the Tiger, but KTM, I think, like when I look at those bikes, I think KTM right off the bat.
Well, that's the exact idea here. I think they want to be known for this specific stuff as well. Just like they build the Scrambler line, the Scrambler idea was to kind of have an entry-level bike, something that's going to compete with a lot of the modern take that Triumph is doing with like the hippies and stuff. Right. Now it's its own thing.
Like a cafe style, something like that.
Yes. So they definitely want to jump into the Tiger world and the GS. I've seen a lot of people that ride Ducati, KTM, blah, blah, blah. And when it comes to going off-road or that style of a bike, they automatically go to the GS. And I think they're losing a ton of potential clients. So I think whether it makes a big splash right away or down the line, business-wise, it's a very interesting thing. Now, as for it being bulletproof, the Hyper engine's been around for a bit. It's been on their Superbike. It's been on the Monster. They translated to the Monster. This is another derivative of that as well. I think it's a super interesting concept, man. I don't feel like it's very Ducati. A lot of Ducati design cues are on there. Okay.
Oh yeah, I agree. I mean, it doesn't. If I passed it on the street, I wouldn't think it was Ducati. No problem. I mean, honestly, it looks like a few years older Yamaha.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think they went for a very streamlined, futuristic look almost. If you look at the fairing, but this bike has a lot of potential, man. I think it's not super expensive. We're talking about $16,795. Right. That's not the end all be all, man. I think it's interesting that they're jumping into this category and not being afraid to tackle, and I think it's the right time because they've gotten the World Superbike people, they've gotten everyone that's racers that are really into Ducati already talking about the brand. So I think it's the right time. The headlights are very striking. In the beginning, I felt like they were a little not so Ducati, blah blah blah. But I'm thinking now, I could see those design cues being super advantageous because they stand out right away. It has a presence on its own. Look at it. And they're actually promoting the bike, doing off-road stuff.
Right. As they should. I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's what I think it's for. I think it's either long range asphalt or off road. You know what I mean? I think that's where that bike shines. I think, if I lived in Brooklyn, I wouldn't be looking at this thing. It just doesn't fit. It doesn't. It doesn't fit that style of riding. But to do something like that, where you can get a little bit off road, do on road, off road. I think that's a cool thing. Ride motorcycles. You ride motorcycles. And it's like if I can get on a dirt bike and have a blast. I can go ride mountain roads. I can go ride in the city. And I have fun. Either way. For me, the Hyper was a way to kind of get all of that into one package. Was to be able to have some suspension for city riding. Or a little bit off road. I took my bike a little bit off road. But be able to also set it up for street riding. That's why I chose the Hyper out of the gate, because that's why I thought it would fit everything I needed.
So the thing is, for me, I think the Hyper is an interesting one, man. Because ideally, I thought the Hyper would be the bike that they would have that's gonna be completely on and off road. Me personally, I don't think the Hyper is great for that. I think it's too heavy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whenever they promote the Hyper, if you notice, usually on track or doing very hooligan stuff with it.
Right.
Ideally, I think what the Desert X might have been potentially what the Hyper is. That's what I think. But I think it's a very interesting approach Ducati's doing, man. I mean, I'm actually pretty shocked that they did something like that. I think they had the mock-up of that bike maybe a year or two ago, and everybody thought, usually when they show, these kind of designs, and it changes quite a bit, but it's completely different from what Ducati does. So very interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely out of the box from what you would expect a Ducati to look like and to be focused on. I think when you hear Ducati, you think speed, you think road racing, you think stuff like that. I'm still a little bit shocked. I mean, how fast Ducatis are. In a straight line, why there's not more of them at the TT, at the Isle of Man. There's no one riding a Ducati really that they would highlight, that like you figure like that bike's got so much power, it's got everything you need on it. You don't see them at the TT that much,
I think we're more known for cornering.
Right.
Cornering.
Yeah, for sure. Right.
I think straight on speed, I think a lot of other brands might have Ducati in the bag. I'm not going to be biased on that one. I mean, at least for me. Anyway, guys, we're coming up at that hour mark. If you're here, you're watching, or if you're watching later, which I know quite a few people does, they've hit me up before, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Right now is the time. Drop those comments in the comment section down below. And also, Pete, anything you want to kind of wrap up, kind of give the people how to reach you, best time frame, and the kind of project that you could do for them, that'd be kind of dope. And after that, I'll start bring up some comments on the screen so we can kind of answer.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Instagram, it's at Graffiti Pete, GraffitiPete. On Instagram is the best way to to get in touch with me and to see some of the stuff I've been doing recently. Everything I do, I'm on my own. Like it's my company. I'm the only one there. I don't have a bunch of employees. If you hear back from me, it's from me. Instagram's the best way, and I'm down for any ideas. If anybody has any ideas about anything, or like, hey, I've been thinking about trying this. What do you think? I'm always open to suggestions, or for somebody to, to have an idea, and then we could explore that. But yeah, like I just don't have time to put together a website. But Instagram is the best way.
All right, cool. So I'm just gonna jump on, guys. If you are watching, you want to throw in any comments. You will not see Pete, but he is listening, and he'll be able to answer as well. I'll be answering as much as we can. And then from there, guys, we'll wrap it up and call it the night. Again, thank you all for tuning in. If you are watching this later, always appreciate you guys watching. Helps quite a bit. Pete, it's been really, really great, man. I'm really happy that you took the time to actually do this.
This is great. This is a lot of fun. I'm glad you asked me, and I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, man.
I gotta get some of the recipes from your wife. Some of the posts of food she's making is like, yee. She knows what's up.
You
I
know,
love it.
you know what's so funny? She was just talking about you, saying how, oh man, it would be great if he could do some graffiti right then and there on the episode and stuff, so I could see it right then and there. Because she's actually a graffiti head as well. She used to do
Nice.
a lot of graffiti when she was in school and stuff like that. So.
Oh yeah, that would be great. Me and Anna B should go bombing one night. That'd be great.
Oh my God, you guys. That would be
That would be a
absolutely
blast.
wild.
That would be a blast.
All
That'd be a
right,
lot of fun.
I'm gonna pop up these comments real quick so
Yeah.
we can see. Yeah, my wife is pretty big into pretty much like let's see, downstream. Let's get it going. Perfect.
But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of. I mean, when I wake up every day and I come into the studio and I have like a bunch of work to do, like I enjoy going to work. You know, I mean, I don't like it's not a headache. Like I enjoy doing it, and I feel really fortunate to be able to do what I dig, you know, for a job, you know, and to make money at it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, so like, and that's it. I just like to figure things out, you know, and like I have some formal training, but you know, Parsons didn't teach me how to wrap a bike, you know. Oh, downshift should definitely hit me up in the future. That would be great.
Let's see here.
Yeah, custom anything is more or less like the moral of the story. With me, it's like, you know, you want custom this, I got it. You want, you know, promotional shit, I got it. You know, I want, you know, custom bikes, helmets. Like it's, you know, if you have an idea, I can make it into something.
So the better question is what you don't do. That's the question.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's a tough question. I mean, like I'm open to whatever, you know what I mean? And if I don't have the space to do something, I mean, if someone asked me to wrap a car, yeah, I could do that. I'd have to find a space to do it. But, you know, like it is whatever.
So you would even take on a project that big?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh
I mean,
my
like
God.
I have a few friends in town that have wrap shops, and they've called me in to do like they would do it like the color change, and I would come in and do. We just did this Cadillac not so long ago, and they wanted some, you know, like subtle graphics on a Cadillac, and so I did that type of stuff, you know. But it's, you know, it's whatever comes up. Like I'm, you know, like I'll again. It seems silly, but it's, you know, like I really love what I'm doing, and even if I haven't done it before, I'll figure it out, you know, and make it happen, you know. Like I painted my own, I did my own helmets. Like I would love to be able to have like a full paint shop, you know, to be able to not really wrap as much and to do more painting, but I wouldn't want to sell the quality of with what I have to work with, you know. Like I would need, you know, a paint booth and, you know, all the materials. But, you know, that's why wrapping is pretty much the extent of what I could do at this point. And but pretty soon, I'm gonna buy a house pretty soon.
Oh, so you're pretty much gonna upgrade everything so you have more space and room so you can work.
Yeah, for sure. I think in January. Right now, my laser machine is 24 by 12. I'm gonna get a 24 by 24. And you know, and with the more powerful machine, so I can get through thicker material for bigger signs and bigger stuff. But we need to be on bikes. Oh yeah, definitely. We'll definitely need to be on bikes.
So I'm assuming you saw her comment already.
Oh yeah, I see that.
All right. So
yeah. And honestly, not for anything. I mean, ride motorcycles did help with the graffiti end of things. You know, you could pull over on a motorcycle and be undetected a little bit easier than in a car. And I could pull a bike into a bush and then go paint something if I needed to.
Here, Governor D. Nice said, excellent work, man. He likes your work a lot.
Damn, Gov. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's it's really cool, you know, and I enjoy what I do, and I love doing it. You know, I do it, you know, literally every day. I'm producing something or making something, you know, and it's a blast. I feel very fortunate.
And again, Downshift 83, of course, you can see his name on the screen here, guys.
Yeah.
He'll definitely hit you up, or definitely follow him on Instagram. Hit him up for that work. Also, he has an Indian. He has a couple of bikes, actually, so I'm sure there's some pretty interesting project you could kind of link up or come up with some great ideas with.
Yeah, it's cool. You know, like a lot of the bikes, like a Scrambler or you know, like an Indian or something like that, even if they're metal fairings or metal fenders and stuff, like, you know, if you wanted you wanted to run a different color, you know, like even like, you know, like I say a rust red or a rust, you know, like, or something that it isn't, you know, like it's easy, you know, to wrap those type of bikes and to change the complete look of it, you know, and then the type of wrap materials that are available now, whether it's, you know, like different types of hues, of, you know, like matte finishes and gloss finishes, and you know, things that are reflective vinyl. I mean, you could do so much, you know, and that's like a lot of times, you know, like if someone approaches me about doing a project, you know, I'll offer, hey, what do you think about this and think about that? And a lot of times, like, I never even thought about that, because a lot of times, like, you know, people that want something don't know what the industry is able to do, you know, and there's all kinds of wrap film around there, you know, that could be made, you know, do whatever you want, you know, it's just wide open, you know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's like, you know, I get excited talking about it because I really enjoy it, you know, and it's something I love to do, and I feel, you know, fortunate that I'm able to do it for my living, and I support my family with everything that I'm doing, and, you know, and it's a fun life. I really enjoy it.
Anyway, I just did a last call for any comments. Guys, we're going to wrap it up for tonight. Thank you so much for all that tune in. And again, Pete, thank you so much for coming through, chatting up, and walking us through the whole process of you doing some of this amazing artwork on motorcycles, off motorcycles, and with clients and stuff like this. Hopefully, we can actually have you back again in one of the future episodes, if anything. Guys, it's been real nice. Pete, anything you want to throw in before we get out of here?
Yeah, I just want to thank you, Mike, for you know, for inviting me on. You know, this was a lot of fun, and yeah, I mean, it's a lot. If anybody has any questions about anything, hit me up on Instagram at Graffiti Pete, and I'm down to take on new projects and you know, new ideas and make shit happen. And just hope everybody has a great holiday. And again, man, I appreciate you, Mike. Thank you so much.
No problem, guys. Have a good night. Thank you all for tuning in, man. Again, Pete's Instagram link will be in the description if you want to hit him up for any work or any potential project you want to work on, or any ideas you want to bounce off. Anyway, thank you all for coming on and checking us out. And if you're watching this later, again, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. I'll catch you guys later. Deuce.
Thanks, Mike.